Hello, hello. We are here with Death Unto Madness, and this is not our normal campaign. I'm not gonna name it anything weird. I've learned my lesson from trying to name side sessions like this something different. It just completely ruins everything. This is just episode 8 of Death Unto Madness, but episode 8 of Death Unto Madness is a special side story thing. We are gonna go to Karousia. We're going to go to Alpheus's village and find out what is happening there. Because Alpheus is in the big city, you know? He's trying to do stuff in the big city to help Karousia, but in the meantime, Karousia is struggling. And we're going to find out what happens when the normal denizens of Karousia have to deal with Jagati raids. So, if you guys look at the map here, I think Karousia is probably like one of the most outlying towns. So it's like probably like over here. And so it is, you know, prime agricultural country. Mainly, I imagine Karousia as a larger town with outlying farms, with a bunch of outlying farms, just kind of scattered around it. And so there's various, you know, shops and other things in the town itself, but then a lot of farmers that are in the outskirts. And we have 3 characters, 2 of which are residents of the town, and, well, I guess all 3 of them are residents of the town as of now. One is from out of town and has recently begun living here. But let's go ahead and just go through those characters. A quick introduction, so, you know, name, who you are. Don't describe what you look like yet, because we'll get a scene with you, and then you can describe that. But just, you know, name, general concept of who you are, and then your beliefs, instincts, and traits. So let's start with Chad. Chad, who are you today?
My character is kind of crazy. His name is Amon, and he is a butcher / barber. Now he's a barber. He used to be a butcher. And his beliefs are people's only value is he's basically a serial killer. People's only value is their ability to satisfy his need to kill. I will find someone to satisfy that urge. He also believes I am the only person who matters. I will make sure that no one finds out my secrets. The Jagati are evil. I will find a way to kill one of them when they come to raid next. So he used to be a Jagati slave, and he escaped, and now he lives in Karousia.
He's got a vendetta.
But he also enjoys killing people. His instincts are he always encourages trust in him, and if someone needs his services, he will try to learn something about that person that might be useful later.
Yeah. Super creepy. Traits?
Prominent scar. Probably from when he was a slave. Definitely from when he was a slave. He's agreeable, seemingly concerned. He has thick skin and nimble. Nimble's a call-on trait with knives.
Yep. Nice. I would also like to point out that Amon is part of a secret barbers guild that is actually like a group of assassins, and it's amazing. It's awesome.
My cousin's one of them.
His cousin's one of them.
And so am I.
And also, and so, like, just to point out something very briefly, right? Barbers in medieval settings, and by result, this setting, because of the way that this turned out, were, obviously they cut hair, but they also were the primary, like, surgeons and basic doctors of most medieval towns. Physicians actually most of the time didn't do surgery or anything like surgery because it was kind of beneath them. They would like consult sometimes with barbers, with like surgeons and stuff. And obviously they would take, a lot of them would be, you know, academic fields, or they would take care of nobles. But your old town barber, they're the people who got stuff done, right? They're the people who pulled teeth and cut and amputated arms and whatever else needed to be done. And so, I mean, in this setting, it's probably slightly more skewed towards a witch doctor, right? There's probably like, and I guess maybe this is up to you too, Chad, but like this is like a Greco-Egyptian setting, right? So it's probably not like the straight like medieval Europe, what we would think of as like a barber surgeon. So what I feel like there's another kind of more like, and honestly, maybe the weird aspect about it is that they're technically all part of a secret guild. Maybe that's all it is. But I think that's definitely part of the setting, and it's now permanently part of the setting. So everybody can thank Chad for creating a guild of barber assassins. But apparently there's more than meets the eye to these barber surgeons that live in these towns. Anyway, that's Amon. Silas. Who's Silas, Seth?
Okay. Silas is a butcher who, I should explain this first. He is the second-born son of his father, but his father passed the butchery to him because he was better than the firstborn. So there's a feud between them. So his beliefs are, I believe that I'm the best butcher in town because my father was confident enough to pass his butchery down to me instead of my brother. Therefore, I will not worry about my brothers or anyone slander against me. Oh, I put it wrong. Therefore, I need to change it, but it's like, therefore, I will like prove that I'm the best butcher in the town.
Like no one ever was.
I want to be the very best. Exactly.
Gotta cut them all. I believe that I can use the Jagati to my advantage, so I will bribe them with a few extra portions of meat and my good cooking, so I can protect my father's legacy.
Very nice.
Aww.
And then I have 2 instincts. If I see an animal, I will comment or mutter on the quality of meat it might produce. And if someone tells me I smell bad, because one of my traits is stinky, I will tell them to stop sniffing me.
Silas is really interesting. What are your long list of weird traits?
Yes, I'm stinky, cryptic, muttering, a loner, a bad egg, and I have a prominent scar. And I have thick skin.
Very nice. Very nice. One note on the butcher situation. So Chad mentioned that his character also was a butcher in the past. So we decided that he worked for your father as an assistant or something. Cool. Back when he was like still alive, and has since just moved into other realms. He's not interested in being a butcher necessarily anymore. He's now, but he did use that butchery skill to become a better serial killer. So
yeah,
gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he probably does know you then. As well. I mean, it's a small town. Everybody probably knows everybody, but. And then Thomas, who's your character?
I am Isidore. So I grew up in the city. My father was the head groomer, horsekeeper for the guard, and so I ended up joining the guard after him. But at a certain point, some bad stuff happened, and I was accused of murder. The truth is I did kill someone. So I was sent away, but I escaped, and have decided to essentially escape and lay low, and try to live a repentant life. I'm trying to just leave that behind, and I'm just gonna, be here. So that leads into the first belief. I will live a simple life in atonement without attention. I don't want to rock the boat. So then the second belief with the raiders, I believe that they're thugs, but life is bitter. So I will continue on as I always do.
I love that belief because it basically it means that me as the GM, I need to try to push you to do something instead of continuing on as you always do, right? So that's fun.
Yep. I'm excited for this little character. So then with my instincts, the first is I always assume I don't fully understand another's actions and motivations. And that's kind of connected to the reality of who I am.
Yeah.
I don't assume, well, maybe there's good reasons for the choices that they are making. The second instinct that I have is to never take another life. And the third instinct I have is that if someone is disrespectful, because I was raised by a good father, if someone is disrespectful, my anger gets the better of me.
Very nice.
I like orderly manners. With my traits, I am a drunk. That's fun. Second is obviously outlaw, from having evaded the law.
And the fun thing about that trait is it gives him one. It takes away some of his resource points, so he ended up being poorer than normal.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot to say what I'm doing. So I came to the town and I am basically an assistant and work as a groomer in town as well.
Yep, working with horses. But then the other thing that trait does, that outlaw does, is he gives him a 1-die infamous reputation for being an outlaw, except only among like the city, noble, and religious life paths. So you guys don't know his reputation because this is like an outskirts town. But if anyone from the city or a religious life path or anything like that finds out about Isidore, they'll probably know his reputation. So, but luckily he has the third trait.
Third trait, which is plain-faced.
Which is a call-on for inconspicuous. So basically, he has the skill inconspicuous, and once per session he can reroll all failed dice in one test. So
nice.
Yep. So good to keep laying low.
And then also, do I say the relationship as well?
No, that will come up.
Okay.
Yeah. I think that's good. And obviously, if you've been watching Death into Madness, you're like, who's Thomas? And yeah, he's guest starring on. We're going to do this session, and then next week we're going to do another session of this. A little two-shot thing, because Maria's gone and Carly is not free as well, so we're going to another part of the world. So I think I want to start with Silas. Silas, would you describe for us, like, if this is a TV show, what's the shot we see? It's kind of introducing us to the town and then zooming in on your butchery. Like, what's the vibe we get? What is Silas doing? What does he look like? You muted, I think, if you're trying to say something. You're muted.
It's a little country town.
Yep.
And just little cottages everywhere. There's like a little river.
Okay, all right.
Some houses have some animals around them. And then...
What's your butchery look like?
It's on like the main street, which is probably like not really a street, it's a tiny little town, but it's some kind of road. It's decent. It's not too small. It's like, wood. And inside, what would a butchery look like without refrigeration?
Good question.
Have you seen Aragon the movie?
Nope. I assume I use a lot of salt.
Yeah, I'd imagine that's basically the gist of it. Lots of hanging meat.
Okay.
And probably like salt.
I've got a lot of salt,
storage,
hanging meat. Have a counter up front where I pass the meats, and in the back I chop them up. Or I can chop them up in the front for everyone to see. I don't know if that's a good description, but
no, you're good. What do we see Silas doing, and what does he look like?
He's wearing, just like a regular shirt. I think he has an apron.
Okay.
Probably. I assume they would have aprons back then. It's just covered in blood. Splatters of blood.
Nice.
he is. He's very dark. He's got like eye bags. Because he works a lot and he's tired, but and everything.
Yeah. Understandable.
And he's just currently chopping up a chicken.
Okay, cool. Yeah. I think I'd love to think that throughout these sessions, we'll paint the story is gonna paint Silas as like super creepy, super kind of weird and gross and whatever else because he's a butcher, and it's gonna paint Amon as this really kindly, nice barber doctor guy who's concerned about everybody until the moment we realize who Amon truly is, right? If this is being filmed like a TV show, that's kind of the first vibe. We're immediately suspicious of Silas because of his kind of gross meat vibe going on. So I think, Silas, you are, we are working on butchery stuff, and I think the first kind of thing we see from you is you are giving I think you're preparing this chicken for the guard. And so there is a kind of unkempt looking guy, like a 12 o'clock shadow. And by 12, I mean like 12 a.m. So, it's all day and then into the night, staying up late.
Okay.
Right. So unshaven, looks gross and tired, stays up too late, sort of thing. Probably a good counterpart for you, actually. But he's sitting there waiting impatiently, right? So he's like tapping his foot and waiting for you to get on with it, and you're preparing some various like meats for them. And I think I have to generate. I didn't get a chance to like make character sheets for all the NPCs, so I have to quickly generate a name for this guy. But his name is Dismas. And Dismas, he's a member of the guard. He is probably like the least important guard. He's probably being sent on this errand because nobody likes him and nobody wants him around. And honestly, the guard at this point, why, like, you're probably wondering, as like the rest of the town is, why you even have a guard? Because they don't do anything. They don't protect you guys from the Jagati, right? Like, no one even exactly knows what they are doing at all these days. This guy's waiting impatiently for you, and so I think he's tapping his foot and he says, "Are you gonna hurry up with this, Silas? I don't have all day."
And I'm like, I look up like I'm cutting meat, but I like glance up ahead. I'm like, do you want it to be cut right or not?
Well, I'm not the one eating it. The captain's eating it. Or probably you would say the sergeant. The sergeant's eating it. So, yeah, cut it good, I guess.
That's what I thought. And then I continue cutting.
Yeah, don't need my hide on a whipping post. Yeah, so do you want to make a butchery roll for us, Silas? Let's see how well you cut up the meat for the guard.
Oh my gosh, I'm stressed! My rolls are so bad always. Okay, so go to stats and skills?
Yep.
Okay. Okay, butchery. Oh, okay.
And so I'm curious, I'm trying to think, maybe we can all just think through this. What actually would you be preparing for them? Like, are you legit making them like meals, like a feast or something? Is that what's happening?
Well, I can cook, but I don't think I'm cooking.
You're basically just like...
Am I cooking for them?
I don't know. That's what I'm wondering. You technically have the skill. I'm just curious what the guard would actually have asked of you. I don't really know myself. Does anyone have an idea? Because I imagine
would they have someone else that would do the cooking for them if they don't cook it themselves?
That's what I'm wondering. I mean, I imagine some of the guards have wives, but I could imagine that because of the way the guard is, I think they bully a lot of the people in town. And so they might just be making you do this, even though it's not your forte. Maybe it's probably honestly that. Let's just go with that. I think like there maybe would be someone who could do this instead. But honestly, maybe you recently heard a distasteful story of like one of the guards like beating his wife half to death or something like that, and she would be the one who would normally do the cooking. So these are just unsavory people, and who maybe they're I think that's probably the situation they found themselves in. And so I think what it probably is the I don't know, I'm trying to think of if there's like a holiday or there's probably something like that the guard is like getting you to make a feast for or something like that.
Okay.
At the very least, preparing the meats, right? And cooking the meat for whatever feast. They probably have someone visiting, and it's probably like a local tax collector or something, right? And it's, this entire situation is just super messed up. Like, the Jagati come, bully everybody, steal their stuff. The guards bully people, steal their stuff. The tax collector comes into town, takes a cut of all the stuff that's been stolen. Right. And so there's probably, like the local tax collector, he's in town, and basically I think the sergeant or whoever's in charge of the guard is probably trying to butter him up, sort of a thing, and like get a bigger, have him take less of their cut, sort of thing. So there's some schmoozing going on, and they're relying on you, I think, to make a general meat feast for this guy. So
okay.
So let me look specifically at like how the butchery skill is described. Just so we know exactly how this is going down. I have to say, stuff like this is probably my favorite part of Burning Wheel, because you can have such stressful situations come out of like a simple cooking roll.
Oh my gosh.
It's real fun.
Watch it happen to me.
So butchers know how to kill, cut, and carve an animal or carcass into edible portions.
Okay.
So you tell me, Silas, what are you trying to prepare for them? Like, what's the actual, like, you can be multiple things, but like, what's the feast you planned?
Probably since for a lot of people, I'm chopping chickens into their parts, and then I probably have chicken. I would assume is probably like a more cheap meat. And then so it's a holiday, so we have chicken pieces, but then we also have probably like a couple, either one, do I do a pig or a cow? Cows are bigger, so I'll go a cow. Like one cow.
Sure.
For everyone too, because it's like a special occasion.
Okay, cool. I'll have you make the roll based on like probably a cow, right? Because that's the most difficult part of it.
Okay.
So I think it's gonna be an ob 3 butchery test to carve the meat, right? So you're preparing various like side dishes and stuff, but the cow is like the big thing. Cool. So you're rolling butchery.
Okay. Do I get to fork in like?
You can fork in guts wise. Yeah.
Okay. So that's one.
Cooking is going to be a separate thing, but you can at least fork in guts wise,
Okay.
Unfortunately, you have 4 skills, so that's like your entire repertoire. Butchery, cooking, guts wise, and trouble wise.
Love that for me.
Yep.
Okay. So
turns out when you are a professional in a small town, you do one thing and you do one thing always. Hey, nice job. Success. Yeah, go ahead and mark that routine test on butchery.
Okay.
Nice. Yeah. So you finish probably carving up the meat and stuff, and then I think he's talking to us waiting for this, and then he's like, "Is it prepared then?"
Yes.
And he means just like the cuts, yeah.
Yes, they are done now.
All right. Well, me and the rest of the squad are going to take it up in the wagon to the house on the top of the hill. you're going to be there this evening, right? I don't want to be stuck with more chores. And so they're expecting you to come up to the manor house of where technically Alpheus supposedly lives, right? When he's here. But his steward is probably the one who lives there now. Yeah, they're expecting you to come up and like cook the meal tonight, sort of thing.
Yes, I will be there to assist.
Good.
Cooking.
Good. And then he I think leaves like a penny on your counter, and he's just like, don't spend it all in one place, and then just trots off to like get the rest of the guards who are probably like playing cards outside, and they gather the meats together from your storage house and then take it up. Cool. Yeah. So I think from there we go to Isidore. What is Isidore up to? I assume he's probably in the stables, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I'm in the stables. I think I'm shoveling, cleaning things up. Since the guards are preparing for something, the stables are now a little busier than they usually are. And we're probably getting prepped. Are the visitors, have they arrived in town yet? If not, we're preparing for.
Yeah,
I think have extra stuff.
Yeah, I think that's probably what you're doing right now. I think he could be here any moment, sort of a thing, right? He was probably expected before this, and he's kind of late or something. So
okay, yeah. So that, and I being late, and then just general. I think I, as one of the workers, we're stressed. We're a little stressed in trying to fit everything because it's a small town, so it's not would have massive stables, and we don't have a bunch of extra space and fancy equipment and everything. So it's a little bit scrambling, trying to clean things up and trying to figure out, well, okay, I guess, we can fit another horse into this stable.
Yeah.
And just trying to, and the horses that are there are, maybe a little bit agitated, the shuffling around, and hey, why is he over here with me and this is my stable?
Yeah.
That's what we're doing.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah. And I think you probably, you know what? I feel like there might be a role there. Let me look at what are your skills actually to set this up like it's supposed to be. Wow. You have a lot more skills, but they're not, a lot of them are not very high. Yeah, let's do this. Let's have you make an animal husbandry roll. Basically just because I think you're probably not, okay, actually I'll ask this question. Isidore, are you, well actually, before we do this, what does Isidore look like? I just realized we haven't got that yet.
What does Isidore look like? What is...
So think Greco-Egyptian, right? So olive to dark skin, depending. There is a legit darker skinned ocean-faring race. So it'd probably be Mediterranean is probably the look. Okay,
yeah. So on that side of things, that's what I look like. But I'm wearing kind of simple clothes. I'm on the poorer side of a poor town.
Yeah.
Kind of raggy, a little bit longer hair, not unkempt, but got a beard going.
Yeah.
And I'm a little more, seemingly more fit or capable than you would think some just kind of just random groomer would be.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm definitely getting a Kaladin vibe from you, right? Where people are looking at you as a slave or whatever, this lowly person, but then you look a little closer and you're like, this guy could be dangerous.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, kind of, maybe there's a little bit of a sense of in a different life, you could have, you could have done a little bit more with me, but this is my station, so that's That's what I'm doing.
Yeah, so my question for you then, Isidore, is what do you care more about? Do you care more about the horses being well taken care of, given the switching around you're having to do, or do you care more about the tax collector who's coming into town having a nice place to put his horse? Like, what are you actually more worried about? What's your priority?
I think I have a stronger inclination towards the animals.
Yeah.
My father was the head groomer, and I know how to take care of these animals well. And when you treat them well, it's all going to go much better.
Yeah.
Because these are good, beautiful creatures that work for you, and you want to treat them well.
Cool. Yeah, sounds good. I think then what we'll probably, so the way that the roles work in Burning Wheel is based on intent and task. So you tell me like what your intent is, and then I tell you what the task is. So obviously we know the task here is probably going to be animal husbandry. But your intent specifically, if you could get both, would you want to get both? Or are you as in
both
priorities.
Of those priorities. I obviously would like it. If I could get both, I would want to do that.
So I think probably what this is going to mean then is your intent is to get both, but I think the failure condition, right? If you fail, because your priority is the horses will be taken care of if you fail. But the person's stable isn't going to be as nice as he would want it. Right. So we know that Isidore is going to spend whatever time he has making sure that's taken care of. But if he doesn't have enough time, that's the thing that might lapse. Okay, cool. So let me look at animal husbandry real quick and just double check what.
And am I the only? Because I'm obviously not in charge. Am I the only assistant groomer, or are there?
Good question. Yeah. You probably have maybe one or two other hands. Let's say one for now. Maybe the other one's off doing something else. So you will be able to get a helping dice from him, right? He's helping you obviously in this situation, so you can get one bonus die from him automatically. Obviously you're rolling animal husbandry. You can fork and horsewise, obviously. So when a skill is forked, you just get one die, unless the skill is 5 or higher, or maybe 7 or higher. One of those. I can't remember how that goes. But for all intents and purposes,
I don't have to worry about it.
You don't have to worry about it. Yeah. So the ob for taking care of horses is an ob 3. We'll just say it's an ob 3. But you can fork in horsewise.
This is not one of my higher skills.
No, exactly. So you fancy yourself a groom, but you probably spent more time in your life drinking and killing people than you did taking care of horses. So as always, in Burning Wheel, you can totally make an argument if you look at any of your other skills and you're like, I think this would help me in this situation. Feel free to do so, and I can tell you whether or not it would. But horsewise is the one I'm seeing. I don't know if there's any other ones.
I don't,
because if you had travel wise instead of road wise, that might be applicable. But I think road wise specifically is like knowing about roads. So
yeah, I don't see any others that are here.
So I'm thinking.
I know what needs to be done. Am I actually good at
exactly
doing it with the animals?
You're in that horrible position of having that perfectionist dad who, like, how it's supposed to be done. You know how it's supposed to look, but you're not actually confident you can pull it off yourself. Yeah.
Yep. Okay, so I click the dice and then I'll just type a 1.
2, because you have horsewise and the help die from the other hand.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yep.
So put 2 and then just submit.
Yep. And then you have a persona point, which you can spend here. Probably wouldn't recommend it. It's probably more useful somewhere else. But and then from there you put an op 3 after you submit again.
Oh, whoops. Hold on a second. Let's try that again. 2. So I just type 2 and then I type something else and then just submit.
Yep.
Oh, I thought I did that and I didn't see any.
So and then it's at.
Oh, I see. Got it. Artha dice.
Artha 0, unless you're spending your persona, and then 3 for the op, which is the next submit field. Yep.
Got it. All right. There it is.
Okay, so the way this works, this is nice. Is you're really close. You can spend fate. I forgot another thing you can spend fate for. You can spend fate to reroll 1 failed dice. So technically, you still have a shot at this. If you want to spend one of your fate points, you can reroll one of those failed dice, and you have basically a 50-50 chance of succeeding.
How many fate points do I have? How do I get those?
You have 3.
I can get those?
You have 3 fate points to start off with, and then you get fate points for playing towards beliefs, instincts, and traits.
Okay.
So if you care about this, then fate is probably a good thing to spend. And fate points you get them back at the end of the session, so it's not like you're going to get one immediately for having done something. So we rack it up at the end. So.
Okay. I think I will spend it because I also don't want to be drawing attention.
Yeah, exactly.
To myself, and so I want to make sure these stalls are ready to go, and he can just come in. I don't want to have something happen where. What's going on, and then also it's a task collector, so who knows if this guy knows something about me. So
yeah, for sure.
I really want to make sure that I do that. So then I just go through that process again.
Yep. Actually, no. What you can do is go to the top of your sheet where it says fate. There's a little d6 there. Click on that, and then you're going to put in 1 die. One dice, and then 1 remaining obstacle.
Okay. It only gave me the option for remaining ob,
and then you'll submit, and then it will do the next thing. Yeah.
And then 1 dice.
And then 1 die. Yep, exactly. Yep. And then it should show you. Nope, no dice. Yep, you got a 2. So 0 successes. Okay, so unfortunately. You failed. The horses are very well taken care of, so you don't have to worry about that.
And when the new people, would that also apply that when the new people get here, the horses will be taken care of?
Exactly. It's just so basically, I think what happens, right? We see you get this all set up, and the horses seem fine. You calm them down. Like one of them maybe doesn't like the horse that it's stabled with, and there's a little bit of tension there, but you calm them down. But then. Someone rides into the stable pretty fast, and then their horse like stops and kind of skids and rears, and this very kind of like I'm trying to think of let's see what vibe I want this guy to have, because I know the guy who's like the steward of the town in the plays of Alpheus. He's kind of like a Weasley kind of guy. I don't want this tax collector to also be a Weasley kind of guy, even though that would be the obvious thing to do. What would be another kind of like immediate personality word for a tax collector?
Maybe instead of a sort of worm tongue sort of archetype, maybe something a little more Tom Hiddleston Loki.
Oh yeah. Okay. Sounds good. Yeah. So
charismatic, but also you can tell there's.
Yeah. So I think this guy, he probably used to, and I don't know how long have you been in town? Probably a couple years, haven't you? Yeah, because it was your whole groom life path basically. So like 4 years, I think. I think you saw the transformation of this guy. He used to be down on his luck. Everybody would bully him. But ever since the Jagati raid started happening and the dynamic of the town started shifting, he has been getting more and more of a cut for himself and has been using it to basically he's trying to transform himself into a nobleman so he can go to Sinia and live there.
Who did you say this guy is again?
The tax collector.
Okay.
Yeah. So, right, you've been seeing this transformation over the years. He's been stopping into town and getting money and stuff, right? Like he has big aspirations and ambitions. And so yeah, I think if this was a TV show, he'd be played by Tom Hiddleston. And so he rides in, and he probably bought this horse from Sinia. It's a very expensive horse, an absolute pain to take care of. I mean, you like animals, Isidore, but honestly, you don't like this horse. It's a jerk horse. And so, it rides in, kind of rears up a little bit, and just like whinnies very loudly. All the other horses in the stable just start kind of like freaking out, and they're like, "What the heck? Like, why is this horse suddenly running at us?" Sort of a thing. And then the guy swings down off of his horse with, it's fancy clothing, but anyone from Sinia who saw him wearing it would laugh because they would see what he's trying to do. But not be impressed by it. He's literally a LARPer. Yes, absolutely. And so, except it's like hand-me-down LARP clothes. So he swings off of his horse and then just hands you the reins to the horse without even really looking at you. He just sees that you're right there. And he like kind of puts his hands on his hips and looks around and then says, Karousia, what a quaint little town. And then he glances back towards like the empty stable, the empty like, stall where his horse is obviously going to go. Maybe you're already like leading the horse over to it. And he just glances and notices it. And then he says, excuse me, groom.
Yes, sir.
Where is my horse going to be stabled?
And this one right here, sir.
Now, see, when I have my horse stabled, I expect it to be somewhere where more than just pigs could wallow.
Yes, sir. I'm sorry, sir, that it wasn't cleaned up perfectly in time for you to arrive here. As soon as I get your lovely horse set up here, I'm going to finish cleaning it up. Is there anything I can do? Anything specific that you need me to do?
Okay, so what you're doing, Isidore, is you are definitely trying to do soothing platitudes right now, which is a skill. Basically, you use words that mean nothing to calm down someone who's very angry. So unfortunately, you do not have this skill. So
I don't have that skill.
We're gonna see how this goes. But you don't have a bad will, so. Yeah, I think this guy's will is probably 3. So unfortunately, this is gonna be incredibly difficult for you.
Mm-hmm. Would I be able to fork in inconspicuous?
So the difficulty with being learned skills is you can't fork because you don't you don't know it yet. So I'm adding that to your little being learned thing here. Soothing platitudes. It's based on will. Yeah, unfortunately, like this tough part about this is just Isidore, unless you get really lucky here and then can spend a fate on some 6s. There's almost no chance you're going to succeed this because I think Isidore, even though he's trying really hard and he wants to be soothing, he just can't handle people like these, right? Like he's trying, but so go ahead and click on the little D6 next to soothing platitudes, and we will we'll have you roll that.
No, to keep the 0 help advantages.
I think so. I'm trying to think. Yeah, I think the other hand has kind of like disappeared at this point because
would with him now arriving, would the head be showing up at any point?
He probably will, but probably after you've made this roll. I think at this point, like literally, I think the hand saw that this guy was coming and then literally slipped out the back so that only you had to deal with it. So yeah, you've been put into a little bit of an awkward situation here. So yeah, I don't think you have any help. So
0 on that, and then 0 on that.
Yeah, and your intent basically is to like calm him down and assure him that his horse will be taken care of.
Yeah.
Okay, sounds good.
And then it was base ops the 3,
base op
right?
3. Yeah, and unfortunately that's going to double to 6. It's going to automatically double because it's being learned. But yeah, that's the way it goes. But yeah,
Nice.
put in 3. Yeah.
Additional ob 0.
Nope. Yeah, nothing else. Oh wow. You rolled 0 successes.
Epic style.
Nice. So I'm gonna mark these tests for you. I forgot to tell you about that. So when you make tests, the little gray field there that says difficult, that will either say routine, difficult, or challenging in the little chat window. And those are like the types of tests that you earn from doing them. And you would mark those, in the difficult on animal husbandry. Once you get a certain amount of those, then you'll upgrade the skill. For soothing platitudes, if it was a routine test, you would mark one of those little bubbles on being learned there, and then next to the aptitude. But since it's a difficult test, it counts just for your will, which is like the base stat the skill is based on. So I'm just going to mark that difficult will for you. So you're trying. You learned something from this on how to be more social, but unfortunately, you didn't learn fast enough. And I think he just is glaring at you, and he says, "I do not need patronizing tones from you, servant."
I'm basically just kind of head down and just apologetic, and with that, I would just kind of start, getting to work.
Okay, so I think that's probably you trying to roll inconspicuous. You want to maybe just blend into the crowd, just be like,
just be like, sorry, sir, and just. I think maybe I would also give a little slightly agitated shout, like to whatever the other hand is. I'd just be like, shout his name, like, "Hey, where are you? Sir, not like just a quick shout and slightly agitated, and then just trying to.
Yeah, and I think your failure on the soothing platitudes, like the actual consequence is probably that this guy's gonna remember you no matter what. But this inconspicuous is gonna be like, will he forget about you in the short term? Right? Will he just let you do your work and then go on to do whatever he's gonna do? He'll remember you in the long term, but I think that's success for you on this will be like he'll leave you alone for now. So yeah, go ahead and roll.
So we have inconspicuous.
Yeah.
I don't think anything else fits into that.
Authority-wise, probably. Right?
Oh, yeah, maybe.
Yeah, knowing about people who will want to be in charge of you is a good way of...
Yeah.
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 Yeah, he's going to add 1 for that.
Inconspicuous.
And then what is the ob for inconspicuous? Versus tests against observation. So he definitely wouldn't have the skill observation. So I'm just gonna roll like whatever his perception would be for observation. Okay, so I mean, literally your ob is 1.
Okay.
It's really 0.5 because your success is double because you're using a skill and he doesn't have the skill. But yeah, basically, as long as you get 1 success, you're good. You're in the clear. There you go. You can mark that routine test next to your inconspicuous where it says a little R on the right there next to on the other side of the table. Yeah, there you go. Cool. So you just put head down and just get to work. Cool. And I think we see you do that, right? We see you like, take care of the horse, put him in the stall, get it taken care of. It's still not ideal, but oh well, you didn't like this horse anyway. And I think probably by the time you get that taken care of, right, the guy, the head groom comes back in, and he basically he can tell that he's about to berate you because maybe the guy like mentioned something to him, but then you see that guard you hate, Dismas. He rides. You see him out in the like courtyard, like right outside of. Whoa, Chad, you suddenly turned green.
Really?
Yeah, Zoom does this sometimes. Turn off hardware acceleration on Zoom.
Am I still green?
Yeah, you are. There should
you
be
did that earlier too, Caleb.
Oh, really? Okay, there you go. You're good now. Yeah, sometimes it happens for people.
Yes, it was just me, but
no, it only happens for other people, so the person whose turns green doesn't notice. But for the stream,
does it happen on stream?
It was actually
it did
me
for
turning
Chad,
into the Hulk.
Right, of course, yeah.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
But I think what happens, Isidore, is you see like outside the stable, like in the like little dirt courtyard right outside, you see Dismas leading like a wagon, right, with a pack horse, roll up to the stable, and you see the outside, the back of this wagon, and it's completely covered in like blood and meat stains. And the head groom like looks back and like notices this, and then Dismas walks in, and then looks yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say, I think he would walk in the middle of, the head groom comes in, and I'm not rude in any way, but sure. I'm talking to him a little agitated. I'm like, when the tax collector arrived here, what's the other hand's name? Whatever his name is.
Yeah.
I'm like, he bowed out. I have no idea where he was. All the weight, landed onto me. What the heck is with that? He wasn't here to help greet the tax collector and to help him get settled and everything. And I think kind of bringing this to him.
Yeah.
Like he's just stepped away as we're bringing this guy in, who we all know is really great to deal with.
Yeah,
and I think in the middle of that is maybe the head groom doesn't get to respond yet. Is when Dismas.
I think that makes sense. Yeah, for sure. Like, and you can tell the head groom's like getting angry at you as you say this. The guy's name is Nestor, by the way. The other hand that should have been helping you. But yeah, then Dismas walks in and the head groom like turns to him like, what now? Like, and then Dismas looks at you, Isidore, and then says, wagon's done. We got the meat up to the manor house. You can clean it out now. And then, the head groom like looks at Dismas and then looks back at you and then like kind of his eyes like harden. And then he kind of like, his gaze bores into you, Isidore, and he says, seems like an apt punishment, and then he walks away. So basically you're left to like clean out this wagon all by yourself, that's full of meat stains and it, like they could have put like something down to like not get it in the wood, but they didn't. And it's literally just like this perfectly good wagon is now like completely covered in blood and guts. And you're pretty sure Dismas did it on purpose. And you're pretty sure you hear a faint laugh as Dismas like walks away in the distance.
Yeah, and I would just kind of, look. I'd kind of, be looking at him as Dismas just kind of walks away, and kind of, after a moment when it's like, he's off, I'd kind of, then just a pause of looking around and kind of just an angry, maybe, I had something in my hand and I just kind of tossed that over to the ground. Yeah. And I'm kind of gesturing towards the fact that, Nestor and the head groom are they're not around here, now I have to deal with this grate. And then I, kind of just slick my hair back and
just get to work.
Cool.
Yeah. And we cut from there as we just see like the picture of Isidore just being very downtrodden. And then I think we cut to Amon, right? We cut to we cut to wherever he's at. So Amon, you have a workshop. What does it look like? Like what kind of place do you have to do your barber surgery stuff?
Well, I think my workshop is just, in my mind, my workshop is where I kill people, or after I've killed them, that's where I like cut up their bodies. And
okay, so are you like a guy who goes door to door to like give people haircuts and pull teeth and stuff like that?
Maybe I was visualizing it wrong, but I thought it was like I had a barbershop and then my workshop was separate.
Well, so the workshop basically is like where you have all your tools. So if you're doing like you have like bloodletting and apothecary, other stuff like that, right? So I think what it would probably be is you have a building that you use, right, where you live as well, but also is like your where people come and like visit you to get their needs met, but you probably have a back room that has all the sharp knives and the torture table and whatever else you have back there.
Yeah,
the butchery shop.
So the butchery shop looks like a little surgery room, basically.
Okay, yeah.
Because that's what it is, but people don't expect to come there to get killed. But
So
sometimes they
do we see you? We see you in your like secret back room when we zoom in on you?
Yeah, but no one's in there but me. I'm just cleaning up.
You're just cleaning up after.
Yeah, I'm putting my tools back. It's really neat and organized.
Yeah, and like I think none of we as the audience we can't tell that this is like a dark back room yet. Like you've cleaned it up so well that like it literally just looks like someone's like a doctor's workshop, and you're just like you're happily putting away all your tools, cleaning up, make sure everything's sanitized. Cool. And I think you hear like a rap on the door from the like front room, like someone's come in to get services.
Hello, who's here? Who's there?
It's me, Dismas. I need a shave. Big feast tonight.
A shave, huh? All right, let's go out to the front. I'll get you going, man. Yeah,
and so he like sits down in whatever chair you have, and you get him set up and start get out your razor and do whatever you need to do. And he's just like, he sits back and he's just like, you ever been under a lot of pressure, Amon? Like the whole world is waiting for you to mess up, but you can't, or else that's your head right there.
More than you know.
Very true, yeah.
What's on your mind?
Well, there's just this feast, and the tax collector's in town, and this feast has to go without a hitch, or it's going to mean not my neck on the line. I was the one who suggested that Silas could get the feast ready after, well, you know what happened. And you do. I think you heard from one of the other guards that like the wife of one of the guards that usually does the cooking. You heard a very, very embellished and like gossipy version of the story where this wife was like a horrible human being and like deserved it and whatever, as one of these unsavory guards was like telling you. But yeah, you know all about what he's talking about.
Ah, yes, the feast. Well, I don't know what to tell him.
And by the way, the character that Tom Hiddleston is playing is named Cassandros.
Okay.
So that's the tax collector.
So what's this guy worried about? Just messing up?
Basically, yeah. Basically, he's like, if this feast doesn't go well, if Cassandros doesn't like the food or whatever, I'm going to be the one who gets pointed out first as suggesting Silas to take care of the food. So he's just like, I need everything to go well today, sort of a thing. And that's what he wants to like get a shave and stuff, right?
Well, hopefully the shave makes it a little better, gets you presentable. Is there anything else you think I could help you with to make your life easier?
Yeah, I think he looks at you and he's like, do you have a little bit of the good stuff? And so you're an apothecary. You probably have like things that could, give him a little edge, a little buzz. Little like a drug, a pinch of drug or something like that. He's like, can I just have a little bit of the good stuff? I'll pay you back tomorrow, I promise.
Tomorrow.
I don't have it on me today.
Can you even afford the shave?
Yes, just the shave.
Let me see what I got. And then I go to the back. Or actually, no. I kind of want to kill him. All right, I tell him, hey, let's get you cleaned up, and then I'll take you to the back, and we'll see what we got.
Okay, yeah. I mean,
am I allowed to kill him?
Yeah, dude, you can do whatever you want.
Okay.
I mean, so Amon, if you like your goal is to like keep getting away with killing. So this is the thing, right? Being a serial killer in a big city is way easier to pull off than being a serial killer in a small town.
Who is this guy again?
This is one of the guards. Like
he's just a guard.
One of the village guards.
So he's not like people will notice he's gone.
People will notice he's gone. I mean, if you were going to murder any of the guards, this is the guy you would murder because people probably wouldn't miss him, but it would probably still be noticed.
I'm going to kill him.
Okay, sounds good.
Someone needs to die.
Okay, sounds good. So in that case, it probably doesn't matter if you roll knives to give him a good shave. No matter what, he's gonna get a good shave.
I can try to kill him, right? Don't I have to try to kill him? Can't he fight back?
Oh yeah, for sure. You know what? Let's roll for it. Would Amon care about actually still giving him a good shave?
Yeah, he would still give him a good shave.
Okay, sounds good. How about you roll a knives test to give him a shave? I'm thinking you can fork in knives wise and anatomy.
Give me 1 second. Where's knives at? I see it.
Okay, Thomas.
What?
I know how it's supposed to be said. I just got my words in a bunch.
Okay, what do I need to do?
Click on knives, the D6 next to knives.
Yes.
I think you have 2 forks, anatomy and knives wise.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, you probably don't want to spend your persona on this.
No. Base ob.
Good question.
How messed up is his hair?
Yeah, he probably is actually asking you to give him a haircut and a shave, so it's pretty messed up. He's been kind of letting himself go for a while.
He looks like me in real life.
Sure. It's probably not. As I said, he had like the shaving probably isn't the big part. It's like the unkempt hair because he has like a day's worth of stubble. But let's see. Let's make it an ob 2.
All right.
There you go. Perfect. You can mark that routine knives test. And this guy is going to look amazing when he dies.
All right. So his shave is done and we head back.
Yeah. And so he's like, so you promise it's okay if I pay you back tomorrow, Amon?
Yeah, sure. No problem. I've known you long enough.
Well,
it's not like we live in a big town or anything. It's not like I can't find you.
Yeah, so he hands you a coin and he's like, well, here's for the shave. I appreciate it.
And then I say, all right, come on, let's go. Let's go to the back. Let me show you what I got.
So he walks in the back with you. And I assume it doesn't look like a torture scene back there, obviously, because you cleaned it up and stuff. But so he goes back there with you. He's excited. He's like, so I don't know if you remember the thing you gave me last week. Help me with virility. I'm thinking maybe that again. I might get lucky tonight.
Is that really what you want? What's his name?
Dismas.
Dismas, you really want that again? You sure?
Well, maybe that and then a pinch of the good stuff, the stuff that really makes me feel good. Unless you think that would, mess up something, interfere. I don't know how this works.
So there's two ways I could do this. I could try to make a concoction.
You could try to drug him out. Yeah, exactly.
And then I kill him.
That would be easy.
Or I could make him a concoction that tries that I don't know. Or I just give him, or I could just kill him right there.
Yeah, or you could just stab him. The problem
without wasting my materials.
I mean, the problem with doing that is if you fail, he's gonna scream, right?
Right. I'm gonna say I give him exactly what he asked for. I give him, so I say, all right, you know what? Let's do it. Here you go. Then I start mixing it up. Do I have to roll for that?
Yes.
I'm gonna make him the virility potion and just like a opium type potion.
Sure. So you're making an apothecary roll. You can fork in cooking.
Okay.
But other than that, I think that's probably it. Maybe anatomy, actually.
So 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, anatomy. I agree.
You know about the
No
human body.
Artha.
Let's see.
I want to kill a Jagati still, so I want to save my Artha for something important.
So what's your actual intent with this? Are you giving him what he wants?
I'm giving him exactly what he wants.
Exactly what he wants.
And then I'm gonna kill him.
Okay, so you just want him to
try to kill him.
Basically, the idea is to give him some of the good stuff so that he lets his guard down for a moment.
I would say that I give him exactly what he wants. I don't know what serial killers do.
That's good, Chad. That's good.
I feel like a serial killer would give him what he wants and then be like, "Hey, let's hang out for a little bit," so before you go.
I mean, it depends, right? Like, I assume
Seth rolled his eyes like serial killers wouldn't do that.
Given that you're a serial killer,
make sure you take a trophy.
Oh yeah.
Given that you're a serial killer, I would imagine what probably this means is you've actually probably been stalking this guy for a while, right? This would probably be the last moment of a longer term thing.
That's why I know him already.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think you've been waiting for a moment where you can basically just, and I think probably what it is, Chad, what makes the most sense is if you've been slowly upping the dosage so that it's been, buzz, high, and then you're about to give him just enough so he won't immediately suspect that you're trying to drug him, but he's going to be like high out of his mind. And then you've been waiting for a moment like this to then just kill him.
Yeah.
The only other thing though is it depends on, so if you're a serial killer, what's your actual motivation, right? Serial killers usually have like there's a kind of ritualistic thing that they're like a reason why they do what they do, right? Sometimes I guess it is just to like fulfill, like ultimately it's just to fulfill the primal urge of killing, but usually a justification that happens. Or like at least a reason for why they continue doing what they do beyond just it satisfies their urges.
I would say that when Amon was young, his parents were killed by the Jagati, and then he became a slave.
Right.
And he secretly would kill Jagati when he was a slave, and he's did that for a long time.
Nice.
And now it's like he has to do it. So
I honestly feel like you're kind of like an Avenger type person, right? Where you, and I mean Avenger, not the hero sense, the Marvel sense of the word, but like
that guy from Dexter.
Right, where like you do it because
he only kills bad guys.
Exactly.
But I don't only kill bad guys.
But I would
prefer to only kill bad guys.
Yeah, and
but if there's no bad guys around, I'll kill the worst people that are around.
That's what I'm thinking, right? Like you kill people if you can give yourself a justification for why the world would be better off if they were gone. And I think just to make this a little more clear, let's say that, and you're green again for some reason.
I am?
Yeah.
I don't know why.
If you get a chance, look in the video I think just the general settings on Zoom, and there should be an option that says use hardware acceleration, and just make sure that's unchecked. But my guess, or just to clear this up, I think it's probably Dismas's wife who was the cook, just to make it clearer and give you a very clear reason why you would want to kill this guy, right? Because you've known for a while now he treats his wife like dirt, right? And this last time where he was probably really pressured because his wife was the cook, he kept feeling like her failing as a cook was like a direct attack on his pride. And so maybe she failed at something, and then finally he just like lost it and beat her, and then he needed to find a replacement because she was the cook. And so you've been just slowly probably getting this build up for you of like, oh, yeah, this guy's scum. This guy's absolute scum, and I'm just gonna take it out on him, And so that's probably the kind of culmination of a lot of stuff. The only other thought to have though is, it sounds like, Dismas is in a place where he's in a little bit of a spotlight. So I'm curious about Amon's intentions with the body afterwards, because again, serial killers do different things with bodies, right? Some of them eat the bodies. Some of them...
No, I'm selling it to Seth. I'm going to try to. Why not?
I'm too good of a butcher.
I'm going to try to sell him the meat, and then I'm going to... He can feed it to the Jagati when they come. It could be these extra portions that he bribes them with.
Whoa. Okay, let's take a step back here.
I don't think this plan's gonna work.
So, Amon, as a serial killer, you do some sort of ritualistic thing with these bodies. Is the ritualistic thing you do... Obviously, it's butchery.
I make them like I butcher the meat and cut it to look like meat.
And then you sell it
like edible pieces of meat
to other people.
Yeah, like ribs.
Dang.
Ham. Yeah.
So I feel like Amon's justification for all of this is he's taking out an evil person and then using them to feed the people that he wronged, right? He's like, you can give back to society by becoming food for these people.
Yeah, that's so weird, but yes.
Dang.
Yep. But
Dang.
So I would have to sell it to, but I could already pre-butcher it.
Sell it to my brother.
Well, that's the thing.
I could do that.
Or what if his brother mostly uses your meat?
I think that's probably what it is. I think the only
What's your
reason...
brother's name? I'll sell it to him.
I don't think we've come up with a name for him
Name
yet,
generator.
Yeah, I'll grab one.
And maybe is this
Am I
sort
still
of game
green,
where
by the
we
way?
jump in on
No, you're good.
different where we jump in and add to each other's ideas?
Oh yeah, no, feel free. Yeah.
Maybe there's some sort of motivation from your brother in trying to compete with you. Maybe the amount of meat that he has, or something like that. Maybe but that's a motivator from your brother, and why he, if he knows about it. Maybe he just doesn't know about this.
I don't think he knows.
Oh yeah, that's true. You wouldn't reveal
because
yourself.
they know I was a butcher.
I think the fun part about this is going to be.
Oh yeah.
So Silas got the butchery, right? And I think the only reason that his brother has been able to stay in business is because Amon has been giving him this really cheap mystery meat that he hasn't been asking too many questions about. And it is good.
I want to say that it's good.
It probably
it's better
is.
than Seth's meat.
There is a chemical that goes off when you eat human meat that...
What? There is?
My God, we're a town of cannibals!
Only your brother's customers.
Yeah,
Chad, what have you done to your other character's hometown?
Dude, you can be the better butcher when it comes out that your brother is using humans.
What were you saying, Thomas?
I was just gonna say, yeah, there's a chemical in why people who are cannibals why they actually go crazy is part of it is this human meat eating it creates this chemical that it gives a good sensation, so it tastes good, right? But also it actually is affecting your brain. And that's why people who eat meat, they're usually already crazy, right? But it actually slowly makes you more crazy because it affects your brain.
Oh my gosh. Chad?
Yes.
This is actually amazing. It works perfectly with the the overarching cosmology of the setting. I know.
The madness.
Literally, the Barber Guild. This is happening in every town, and in Sinia. This is intentional. They literally are doing this intentionally for a purpose, and it's amazing. And I love you for doing this.
Changing people's state.
Yeah, they're trying to make people crazy.
Madness.
This is awesome.
Maybe could that be why the king's crazy?
Maybe he gets the finest meats.
It's definitely related. I'm just gonna say that. It's definitely related.
Oh my god.
So
this is kind of cool.
This is amazing. Sounds good. So you want to make that apothecary roll?
Yeah. What's the base ob?
It's gonna be an ob 3.
Oh, I hit enter and oh.
Oof.
I'm still gonna try to kill him.
So if you want to, you can spend a fate. It's a 1 in 12 chance because you would need to get a 6 and then another success.
No.
Okay, sounds good.
Wait, that's a waste.
You can mark that difficult test, though, on Apothecary. So, let's see. How does this go wrong? I think he notices, right? He notices that you've upped the dosage.
The drink is off, yeah.
Yeah, and he starts to like lean back and be like, yeah, like, okay, that's good. Thanks, Amon. And then he's like starts to kind of I don't feel so well. And then just vomits on the ground. And then he looks up at you with like fear. And he says like, what did you do to me? What do you... And he starts to like spasm.
And then I say, you shouldn't have asked to pay me tomorrow. And then I try to kill him. You should have paid me today.
I love how this guy is a complete scumbag to everyone he runs across. He beat his wife. And the thing you're killing him for is skimping on his payments. Sounds good.
Well, no, that's just what I tell him.
I know, yeah.
So it's funny.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, you're just gonna try to stab him?
I have to try to kill him. Yeah, I try. I go to grab like a fat butcher knife off the wall, and then I try to slice his throat.
Sounds good. I'll go ahead and roll for him first. I think he's gonna roll brawling. So he's trying to fight you off. He only got 1 success though, so your op is 1.
So what do I need to do?
You're doing knives, obviously.
Can I fork in villager wise? Because I've been studying this guy.
Yes, I think so.
And I know like how he fights because I've seen him.
Amon, I think you can fork in so many things.
Okay.
I think you can fork in anatomy, butchery, guts wise, knives wise, and villager wise into this roll.
So that's 5.
Yes.
All right. So he's going down. No Artha. Base ob what?
1. Nice.
4 successes.
Yeah, you got a routine test for that, and then what do you do? How does this? You just slice his throat, and he just goes down.
Yeah.
Yeah,
he
and
dies.
I think
he tries to fight. He tries to like grab my arm or something, but he fails, and because he's too high, he's like, and then he just gets his throat slit.
Yeah, I think literally what happens, and this is really gruesome and absolutely horrendous, but this is, I think, what happens. The reason he can't fight you off is because he starts spasming and vomiting again as you cut into his throat, and then not only is vomit coming out of his mouth, but it's also coming out of his throat as his stomach expels this all, and it's literally just the nastiest thing as he just falls into a pile, spasming on the ground. And yeah, I mean, Amon, you're gonna have to clean up the vomit, but you have a new specimen.
Yeah, but I'm used to it. Not vomit, but cleaning up the blood and stuff. And then my guy's just like, I don't know. I feel like he'd be satisfied and be like,
for a little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
Till the urge comes again. So do you want to roll a butchery test for us to cut this guy up into sellable meats?
Yeah.
Sounds
I can
good.
fork in anatomy, guts wise. Can I fork in knives and knives wise too?
Yes.
So
the fun thing.
What about cooking?
No.
Okay.
The actual butchery part you can't really help with cooking, but the fun thing about butchery is that it actually does have like a legit ob for human meat and how you have to butcher it. It's an ob 6. It's actually the hardest thing in there. So good luck.
All right. Ooh. Did
okay.
I fork in the right things?
Yeah, I think you did. Yep. So a difficult test you can mark, but if you want to, you can spend a fate, 1 in 12 chance. Otherwise, you have not butchered it correctly.
What else would I use my fate for?
I mean, fate, it just opens ends test. So
1 in 12, and then I have to get another one.
No, it's a 1 in 12 chance entirely because you have to get a 6 and then another success, which is a 1 in 12 chance.
Yeah.
Given the way the die works.
I'm gonna say no, but can I know that it's bad and then so I don't sell it?
I don't know. I mean, what would let's think about this, guys. What would actually be the failure condition here if he doesn't butch the meat correctly? You know. Is it? I mean,
would he just
your brother might notice it?
Would he just say like, "Sorry, I didn't cut it right," and then he would still sell it for cheaper?
Well, I think that the thing is here, the way that this situation has been set up, I feel like the butchery test really is to make sure that it's unrecognizable as human meat.
Gotcha.
Right? That's the only way this works. And so I feel
would I know that? Would I know that?
That's the question. I feel like you would. I feel like you're good enough with this that you can at least tell that you did it wrong. And so
then do I have to still try to sell it?
No.
So I did it wrong, but then I have to find something else to do with it.
Exactly. Yeah.
Could I have forked in bloodletting because I have to let the blood out of the body?
Oh, yes. Oh, for sure. I didn't even think of that. Yeah. Click on the fate button on the top, Chad, and just put in 1 dice, 2 obstacle, as if you're rolling a fate, and then we'll see if that die helped you at all.
Dice 1? No.
Nope.
All right.
Yeah. Too bad you don't have a call on for butchery.
So I didn't cut it right. What are my call-ons?
Just for knives.
I could have used that to even make it easier to kill him, huh?
Yes, but you didn't need it, so.
Yeah.
You're better at the actual act of killing than you are at cutting up the meat afterwards.
Because I only was a butcher for a few years.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
I need to figure out something else to do with the meat. Or
I know,
could just sell it to him anyways.
Yeah, you could.
Is there like what if I go sell it? No, horses don't eat meat. Do you have other animals on the farm?
Do you know what happens if a cow eats meat?
Mad cow disease. I don't know. Is that what it is?
Yes.
Nice.
Oh. Do you have other animals on the farm, or is it just horses?
I mean, there's the horses. This is basically like
meat.
The town stable for like the guards and everybody else, anyone else who works for the town government. But there is the other outlying farms. You could indeed try to sell it to a bunch of unsuspecting farmers if you wanted to.
Yeah, I want to sell it to a pig farmer.
Oh, to like give to the pigs?
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. Cool. Sounds good. Let's see. What do I want you to roll? Because I feel like there's a roll of some sort happening here to see if the guy recognizes that it's a human body.
But I would imagine that it's all rolled up like in butcher paper, like.
Right.
But I'm telling him, I think I'm lying, like, right? Because I have to lie to him. I'm gonna say, or I don't have to lie, but I'm being deceitful. I basically want to tell him that I got it from, like, excess meat from Seth's brother.
Say, it's like scraps basically.
Yeah,
that's why it's.
Right. I'm just so that there's gonna have to be a roll here somewhere. It doesn't necessarily have to be a falsehood roll from you, but there does have to be some sort of roll to like figure out if the guy notices or not. Like the two main thoughts are either you roll a falsehood or he rolls like a observation or something, right? To notice. What do you want? Either way is fine with me.
He rolls observation because I'm the best barber in town. Everybody likes me.
Sure. So he wouldn't immediately. Well, you know what?
I think that would make it harder for him to perceive.
Well, maybe let's do it the other way around then. Let's have you make the falsehood, and then I'll give you it's not an exact fork, but I'll give you a bonus die for just your reputation in general, you've been able to pull this off several times.
Okay. Can I fork in villager wise because I know the guy?
You can't fork in villager. You can't fork in anything legitimately because it would be being learned.
Oh yeah, because I don't have the skill.
But you can get a bonus die for like your situation, basically. Unfortunately, you're not very good at will.
I know. I switched it to agility, or something.
Let's see.
I don't know. 4.
I'm gonna say the op is 2.
Okay. And I get 1 help.
1 modifier, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Is it help and advantage? Is that a modifier?
Yes. Yeah, they changed the names of them around when they did the update, but same thing.
Base ob 2.
Mm-hmm.
Come on. No, why does it say 4? Oh, because it's being learned.
Because it's being learned, yeah. You did get a 6, so you could spend 1 or 2 fate if you wanted to. If you
2. I'll use 2.
You wanted to use 2? Okay. You definitely don't want people to find out about this meat.
No.
Okay, so in the little fate thing on the very top of the sheet, put in 2 remaining obstacle
remaining ob 2.
and 2 dice. Yeah.
No.
Whoops. So.
Oh, now I have to kill him.
Can
Can I just kill it?
You could. That is one option for sure.
He knows. If he knows I want to kill him, I'm going to just end up having to kill everyone if they find out.
So that's one option. So, I'm on...
Can I offer him a free haircut, too?
I'm trying to think this through. There are 2 options in my head. Either you can tell that he is suspicious of the meat, and then you'll have to act. Or he's not suspicious of the meat, but I think something weird happens to the pigs.
That one.
Yeah. I think there's some sort of... something kind of pseudo-magical is going on with some of this stuff. So I think the farmer doesn't think too much of it. He doesn't have any true discretion. And so he just throws all this meat to his pigs and they devour it. And then I think we stay with a shot, right? Because you left. You went to the farm, you sold the stuff, you left. And then the farmer's feeding his pigs and then he goes back inside, right? And we just see the pigs start to attack the meat and stuff and whatever. And then they start attacking each other. And we see this horrible, brutal scene of all the pigs suddenly just going crazy and attacking each other and then devouring each other, taking bites out of each other as they're still alive and squealing. And it's terrifying. And
that is terrifying.
I think that's actually probably where we cut for our first break, is just on that horrible scene of pigs devouring each other. And we'll cover break and we'll come back and find out what happens when you feed pigs human meat that may have pseudo-magical properties.
Cool.
We'll be right back with more Death Unto Madness when we return. Stick around.